These Beatitudes, which sound so strange to our modern world, offer us a much-needed correction in this particular moment. And they've been doing that since they first came out of the mouth of Jesus in his Sermon on the Mount. You know, Jesus didn't say these things because everyone already believed them. This was not one of those sermons where everyone was gently nodding along like a bunch of bobblehead dolls the whole time he spoke. The Beatitudes are revolutionary. They turned the idea of worldly success and worldly comfort on its head. And we need to hear these revolutionary words again. With an election on the horizon this week, one that has generated great hostility and unbelievable fear, the Beatitudes show us a clear path. And it is not the path of power. It's the path of holiness, which is impossible to walk if we don't believe that it leads to eternal joy. It's impossible to be sincerely meek and merciful if we don't believe that it has eternal value. It's impossible to consistently be peacemakers and to be persecuted unless we know there's something greater to live for beyond this world. I mean, honestly, blessed are the poor in spirit wouldn't make it past the primaries in our country. More than any box that we check on a ballot, choosing holiness has eternal value, and it changes the world more profoundly than the results of any election. Holiness is what the world needs. Holiness is what we need here in our parish and in our community. True, authentic holiness with men and women who are willing to give of themselves for the sake of others, who are willing to let go of their power so that others can be cared for, who are joyful in sacrificing so that others can come to know Christ. There is no president who can do this for us. There is no Congress who will pass a law granting us eternal life. There is no one whom we can vote for who can take our place in choosing every day in simple ways between good and evil. This is why, honestly, I disagree with the statement that voting is the most important thing you can do. It's a civic duty, and it's important, absolutely. But it is not the most important thing. Because we will not be saved by politics. And the fact that this election has generated so much anger in so many people only points to the fact that deep down many believe that it will. But it will not. We will not be saved by politics. Jesus Christ is our salvation. He is our only salvation. And to strive for holiness is our gift to the world that changes culture. So vote for life, yes, absolutely. But then respect life by not gossiping, by loving your spouse, and by not using people for your own pleasure. Vote for a good economy, yes, sure. But then use your gifts to support those who cannot support themselves. Vote for reform and equality, yes, please do. But start in your own heart. Reform yourself and reform your family first. To change the government, we vote. To change the culture, we become saints. Jesus is asking something much more of us, something great. more than political activism, more than signing petitions and joining social movements from our recliners. He is inviting us to radical discipleship. Discipleship that changes us first, that changes us from within, so that we have this desire to give everything to the person of Jesus Christ. And it's all there in the Beatitudes, in a simple and clear way. It is the platform of the Christian life. St. John tells us very clearly, we are God's children now. God's children now. Not children of the Republican Party, not children of the Democratic Party, not children of some president or a Congress or someone that we can elect. We are God's children now. At the end of this week, we will be God's children. No matter who gets elected, no matter what laws they enact, we are God's children now. God's children. And if we don't believe this fundamental fact, then we will be divided like the rest of the world. We in this parish will be divided. We in the church will be divided. We in this nation will be divided. If we don't believe that fundamentally we are God's children now. And that means that we live by a different standard, a different measure. We are called to holiness because Jesus Christ is our salvation. He is our only salvation. And so let's turn to him with our hearts and embrace the promise of blessedness that he has clearly laid out for us. This week, I challenge you this week, every day, to reread the Beatitudes. And if you find yourself watching the news and you're getting angry, turn the news off and read the Beatitudes. If you wake up on Thursday morning and the one you wanted to be elected wasn't elected, wake up and read the Beatitudes. If you have to read the Beatitudes 24 times a day over the next week, then do it. Because we live by another measure. Not the measure of this world, but by the measure of holiness. For the sake of this parish and this community and this nation, be holy. Be saints.